Hi, I'm Helma Volk from CarpalTunnelMaster.com, and I'm going to talk about tennis elbow and how you can fix it at home with this gadget called the Armaid. Now, most people who have tennis elbow never play tennis. In fact, it's quite a common thing. Now, what tennis elbow is if you can see my arm here, when you have your palm face up, it's on the outside, the thumb side, on the back, and all the muscles that will open your hand, open your fingers, open your wrist, attach to this bony area on the side through tendons. And these tendons are, when they're in pain, they cause tennis, they are a tennis elbow. Now, in my 23 years plus of doing massage, I'm retired now, of all the people who told me they had tendinitis, none of them had tendinitis. In fact, tendinitis is really not that common. What they had was tendinosis. So what's the difference? The word itis means inflammation. So if you've got tendinitis of your tennis elbow, which is on the outside here, it means you've got inflammation. And how do you tell if there's inflammation? Well, there's different degrees of inflammation, obviously, but there's puffiness. It'd be very tender to the touch, and there'd be heat. Maybe a little bit of heat, maybe a lot. You know, if someone else feels it, yeah, it's hotter than the other areas. That's inflammation. And if there is inflammation, you kind of want to baby your arm. You don't want to do anything strenuous or making it hurt. You want to more or less rest it, and you want to ice it to reduce the inflammation. You don't want to use drugs, even if the doctor says that's what you do, that's what the pharmaceutical companies say to do. But pharmaceuticals will relieve the pain, which is a symptom. They will reduce the swelling, but they do not promote healing. Ice, on the other hand, reduces inflammation. It will reduce pain, and it also promotes healing by increasing the blood flow into the area. And if you do have whether you have tendinitis or not, it's good to move your arm gently through its range of motion while you're icing it, because that will increase the blood flow. The blood will come in when you're moving it, and the ice will chase it away. So there's a double whammy there of blood flow. You don't want to use heat when there's inflammation, because that'll just make it more inflamed. Tendinitis only lasts, unless you're doing something to aggravate it again and again and again, only lasts a couple weeks to 6 weeks, depending on how bad the inflammation is. And forearms can get inflamed too. Any muscle can get inflamed if there's tears in it, like if you've injured yourself by falls or whatever, and there's inflammation due to muscle tears, which is called a strain. However, in most cases, what you have is tendinosis. Tendinosis feels different. Instead of being squishy and puffy, it's hard. Harder. And although it will be tender too, it won't be as tender with light pressure like tendinitis is. So with tendinitis, you don't want to massage the tendon. With tendinosis, you do. And this gadget, which is the Armaid, is great for fixing arm issues. And it's much better than going to a physical therapist for your arm or a massage therapist for your arm, because you can work on your arm yourself 4 or 5 minutes a day, twice a day, which is better than going 3 times a week or once a week, you know, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. The Armaid has balls that do the work, a foamy cushion that supports and cushions the arm. I've got it attached to my thigh by a strap. You can use it without it, but it's much more convenient to use a strap. And it turns at different angles, and you can turn it around to work on different sides of your arm. Now, You control the pressure the whole time. I've got the gray balls in here. It comes with different balls. The white ones are hard plastic. They're a little bit harder than the gray balls. There's the black foamy ones, which if your arm is really sensitive, it's great to use. And sometimes if you got tennis elbow, your arms will be pretty darn sensitive. And for those who just can't get your your forearms ironed out, if you've got a lot of knots in there, this orange ball is for that. But I've got the gray ones in here, and I'm working on the outside of my arm. So if you've got tendinitis, or I should say tendinosis, either way, you want to loosen your forearm muscles. It's just that if you have tendinitis, you don't want to massage the tendon. You want to stay off any areas that have inflammation. It's not good for it. So what feels really good is working on your arm first. Get that loosened up to begin with. It can go back and forth here, a little circular motion. Always massaging towards the heart because the veins have one-way valves and you don't want to go against those valves because you could break them. I talk about that in other videos. Okay, and just this Armaid, you can open it up to fit huge arms, go all the way down for really skinny arms, and you control the pressure the whole time. You never want to dig in so that it hurts. There's a difference between a good hurt, which feels, that feels good, or a bad hurt, which does not feel good, and some people want to go, oh, I can take it, I can take it. No, don't do that to yourself because you can bruise your muscle. As the muscle loosens up, you can go deeper. So when you get up to the tendon, find the tight spots and work on them. Back and forth, back and forth. These are trigger points. And let me tell you something about tendons. Muscles have nerves. Muscles are full of nerves. But the tendon has more nerves per square whatever because the tendons want to protect themselves from being ripped off the bone. The muscle attaches to the bones by tendons. And when they're irritated, that's telling you that, hey, you know, we want to really protect ourselves from being ripped off. We're already in a dire strait. So you actually want to look for tight spots in your forearm too, because I'll guarantee if you've got tendinitis, if the tendon's unhappy, your muscle's unhappy too. And the reason you want to work on those forearm muscles is when muscles are tight, well, first of all, when muscles are not tight, the muscle fibers should slide back and forth across each other. But when they're tight, there's places where those fibers get stuck. There's adhesions in there. And when you get more and more of those adhesions, the blood doesn't flow into those as efficiently as it should. And the waste products don't get out as efficiently as they should. And that irritates the nerves in the muscles, and that causes pain because the muscles aren't happy, and even more so in the tendons where there's very little blood flow. So you want to really increase the blood flow in those tendons by working on them, and you want to work easy. You know, at first it's going to really hurt, so you want to go easy so you're not causing yourself pain. Again, you want the good hurt, and be patient with yourself, because unless you've got a sudden injury, generally speaking, these things build up over a period of time, and they build up under the radar of your consciousness, meaning you're probably not conscious of the pain in a lot of parts of your body where the muscles are tight until some idiot like me, when I was a massage therapist, would push on them and go, wow, where did that come from? In fact, if you know someone with tight muscles, they're probably not even aware how tight their muscles are. But you could just go like this into this is golfer's elbow, and that's tennis elbow there. You don't have to play golf either. You could just go like that on them, and you could just about put them on their knees if they got tight muscles there or tight tendons. But anyway, you want to loosen up those adhesions, and also places where muscle fibers are just stuck in a shortened condition. In those shortened conditions and the tight muscles, you can call them trigger points, you can call them not. Either way, they're going to be tender in one place, wherever you find them. And you're probably going to find a lot of areas that may surprise you, but you want to work on that middle ball, on those trigger points, as well as the tender itself, and go back and forth. You're doing cross-frictioning is what it's called. And that cross-frictioning is helping to loosen up the tendons, because when you've got tendinosis, I should say tendinosis, I'm getting that wrong too. Like I said, there's not a lot of blood circulation in there, and the tendons are hard when they should be more elastic, so you're encouraging collagen production. Collagen is found throughout your body, which makes your skin elastic, makes your tendons elastic. It's part of your body, and you want to encourage the growth there that might be damaged. And a word about, treatments. You don't want to use cortisone shots. Cortisone is very powerful. It'll take the pain away after a few days. It may cause more pain for a few days, but after that, take the pain away, and it'll take the inflammation down. But it's very powerful, and your tendon is probably already in a condition of unhealthiness. So cortisone can deteriorate your tendons, even the first shot. A lot of doctors don't give more than 2 shots of cortisone in the same place in your lifetime, but don't even do 1 on a tendon, because you can deteriorate it and weaken it. And something about muscles too, and you don't even have to be massaging as long as I am, I'm just describing stuff, but this feels good. It really does. And like I said, you control the pressure just by your hand. You don't worry about doing it too deep. And if you have gone too deep for a while, you can cause soreness, and that soreness will go away in a few days, but you kind of want to avoid that, but it's okay. It's not a huge problem. It's going, after a few days, it's going to feel much better than it did before, I'll tell you. Also, you don't want to confuse tight muscles with bulked up muscles, with healthy muscles, because tight muscles, there's places that are not sliding across. If you're also, something about muscles. People confuse tight muscles with bulky muscles, and they're not necessarily the same thing. Tight muscles, you've got adhesions, you've got muscle fibers stuck together, and those weaken the muscle. If you're a 90-pound weakling and want to bulk up and do it in a healthy manner, you're not creating more muscles, you're creating more muscle mass. Each muscle fiber will get thicker and stronger, but you're not having more muscle fibers, you're just getting muscle fibers that are bigger. And if they're healthy and they're big, they're just sliding back and forth across each other, and that's healthy, and that makes you stronger. Muscle fibers stuck together, they're tight, your muscles feel hard. That's not healthy, and it does weaken not only the muscle, but it also puts pressure on the tendons because it makes the muscles shorter. So you want to loosen those up good and work on any knots that you find, any tender areas, and like I said, you'll save in the long run a lot of money on physical therapists or massage therapists, because you can work once you have this, you can work on your arms as much as you want. And also, if the back of your forearm's tight, the front of your arm is going to be tight, so you want to work on that too. And I won't just go on to that, it's just kind of the reverse of the other one. But the Armaid is a good gadget to get, especially if you've got chronic forearm issues or if you do a lot of work with your hands, fingers, whatever. And I am an affiliate of them, so if you do buy through my link, I will get a little commission, just to let you know. So I really hope this enlightens you.